Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah, always happy to be back.
Today we're going to be tackling something that I think affects all of us, especially these days.
Yeah,
It seems like every day there's something new and different that we have to deal with.
absolutely.
And so we're going to be talking about fear of change
Right.
and how to build stronger connections
Okay.
at work.
Yeah.
And to guide us on this journey, we're going to be looking at an article
Okay.
called
Mm-hmm.
Vencendo o Medo da Mudança e Despertando a Força da Conexão Humana.
Oh, wow. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I know, but I'll translate that for you.
Okay, thanks.
That's overcoming the fear of change and awakening the power of human connection.
Okay.
It's written by a neuroscientist and leadership expert by the name of Marynês Pereira.
Okay.
So, as you all know, you're all about personal growth.
Right.
Always looking for new ways to improve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pereira's insights are really going to resonate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she really gets into like the nitty-gritty of why we resist change,
Yeah.
Like as human beings, it's like we crave that security and predictability,
Right.
and change just like throws a wrench in all of that.
It's kind of like that feeling when you're about to get on a roller coaster,
Oh, totally.
a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Pereira suggests that we need to create an environment that makes change feel a little less intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting on the roller coaster, but at least you have that safety harness.
Right, exactly. Like you're safe.
So how do we build that safety harness when it comes to the workplace?
Well, Pereira, she outlines 4 key strategies.
Okay.
The first one is about establishing clear rules, but at the same time allowing for autonomy.
Okay.
So think of it like a jazz band. There's structure with the melody and rhythm,
Right.
but each musician has the freedom to improvise within that structure.
So it's all about finding that balance, right?
Sure. Like guidelines, but also that freedom to be creative.
Yeah. And the second strategy that she talks about is strategic planning,
Okay.
and not just plan A.
Yeah.
Pereira is a big believer in having plans B and C, like anticipating those what ifs.
Right.
So imagine you're leading a project and a key team member suddenly becomes unavailable.
Oh, yeah.
Having a backup plan can help you stay calm
Yeah.
and pivot and avoid potential disaster.
That's really practical advice. I mean, it's like knowing alternative routes if you hit traffic on the way to an important meeting.
Exactly. You got to be prepared.
Yeah, so we've got our clear rules and autonomy. We've got our plan A, B, and C.
Uh-huh.
What's the third strategy?
So the third one is all about optimizing processes.
Okay.
So think checklists,
Okay.
clearly defined roles, anything that brings order and minimizes errors.
Makes sense.
It's no surprise that these are crucial in high-stakes fields like aviation or surgery.
Yeah.
So having these systems in place allows you to focus on adapting to the new elements of change
Yeah.
without worrying about the fundamentals.
It's like having a solid foundation that you can build on
Exactly.
and adjust
Yeah.
as needed. Okay, so what about that fourth strategy?
All right, so this one's all about transparent communication,
Okay.
keeping everyone informed and aligned.
Right.
So Pereira suggests regular briefings and updates.
Oh, okay.
It's like a pregame huddle in sports,
Right.
Everyone knows the game plan,
Yeah.
their role, fostering trust, reducing uncertainty.
So really building that team spirit from the start.
Absolutely.
So all of that is super helpful when it comes to creating this change-ready environment.
Yeah.
But what happens when those changes feel like challenges? What happens when we hit those road bumps?
Yeah, that's where Pereira introduces this really interesting concept of reappraisal.
Reappraisal.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like a superpower.
You could say that.
Okay.
It's about consciously shifting your perspective.
Okay.
Let's say you're in a meeting and your idea gets rejected. Happens all the time.
Right. Instead of feeling defeated, you can choose to reappraise the situation.
Okay?
Maybe the feedback will help you refine your idea
Right.
or come up with an even better one.
That's a much more positive way to look at it.
Right.
So how do we actually reappraise things?
Right.
Does Pereira have specific steps?
She does. She breaks it down into 4 pillars.
Okay.
The first one is reinterpret.
Reinterpret it.
Yeah, focus on facts and evidence
Okay.
instead of letting fear and assumptions take over.
That sounds like a valuable skill, especially in today's world where there's so much information overload,
Absolutely.
which can sometimes lead to anxiety.
Right.
So an example of this would be let's say there's a major change in your field and you're worried about job security.
Yeah.
Instead of panicking, You can research the trends.
Right.
Identify potential opportunities.
Yeah.
Focus on developing skills that are in demand.
Exactly. So it's about being proactive rather than reactive.
So it's reframing it in a way that allows you to take action.
Exactly.
Instead of getting stuck in that worry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got reinterpret.
Yes.
What's that second pillar?
It's normalize.
Normalize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this one's all about recognizing that challenges are a normal part of life.
Yeah.
Everyone faces setbacks, just like everyone gets caught in traffic sometimes.
Right. It's like that saying, it's not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So it's all about maintaining perspective.
Yes.
And not catastrophizing.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got reinterpret, normalize.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
All right, so the third pillar is reorganize.
Reorganize.
Mm-hmm. And this one really taps into your love of learning new approaches.
Oh,
It's about being flexible and experimenting with different strategies.
so not being afraid to try a new path if the old one isn't working.
Precisely.
Okay, and then that final pillar,
So the final pillar is reposition.
reposition.
Yeah, and this one's all about empathy and understanding different viewpoints.
Which is really important, especially in today's world,
Absolutely.
where everything feels very polarized.
Yes.
So give me an example of reposition.
Okay, so let's say you're discussing a controversial topic with a colleague who holds a completely different view.
Yeah.
By stepping into their shoes and trying to understand their perspective, you can have a much more productive conversation.
It's about building bridges instead of deepening divides.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about creating that change-ready environment.
Right.
We've talked about reframing our perspective with reappraisal. But where does human connection fit into all of this?
That's a great question.
Because I feel like as human beings, we're wired for connection.
We are.
It's not just about, those warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yeah.
It really impacts how we function.
Absolutely.
In the workplace and in our personal lives.
Right. Pereira, she really dives deep into this idea of the power of human connection.
Okay.
Especially at work. So she emphasizes the importance of things like a really welcoming onboarding experience for new team members.
Yeah.
Making them feel valued and part of the team from day one.
I remember when I first started a new job a few years ago, and my manager really made a point of introducing me to everyone.
Oh, that's great.
Sharing insights about the company culture and making me feel like my contributions were appreciated. It really made a difference in how quickly I felt comfortable.
Oh, I bet.
And confident in my new role.
Yeah, those initial experiences can have a lasting impact.
Totally.
Pereira also points out the power of icebreakers to kick off meetings.
Oh, I love a good icebreaker.
Why?
I remember one time.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
We were talking about icebreakers, and I think you would really love Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's always a good one.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And it kind of ties into Pereira's emphasis on empathetic communication, right?
Exactly.
Creating that safe space for open dialogue where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas and their concerns.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with active listening, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I know is something that you value.
Yeah.
It's really about, truly hearing what others are saying.
Yeah. Right.
And understanding their perspective and responding with empathy and respect.
Yeah. Pereira also reminds us about the importance of celebrating successes.
Yes.
Both individual and collective. Remember that time when you finished that challenging project?
Yeah.
And your team took you out to celebrate?
Oh, yeah.
Those moments of recognition are so important.
Yeah.
They're incredibly motivating.
Uh-huh.
And it just strengthens those team bonds.
It's about acknowledging achievements and fostering a sense of shared accomplishment.
Absolutely.
It's like these small gestures, but they can have a big impact on creating a positive and supportive work environment.
Exactly.
Where everyone feels connected and driven.
So we've covered creating that change-ready environment, reframing our perspective through reappraisal.
Yes.
Recognizing the importance of human connection. But how do we actually put all of this into practice?
Right.
Especially as leaders.
That brings us to the final piece of Pereira's puzzle, leading by example.
Okay. Leading by example.
Yeah, and she highlights the role of mirror neurons.
Mirror neurons.
Yes, those fascinating brain cells that allow us to mimic the behavior of others?
Oh, so if leaders model positive behaviors, their teams are more likely to follow suit.
Precisely.
Interesting.
So she emphasizes qualities like positivity, collaboration, and emotional intelligence as essential for leaders who want to inspire positive change.
And that aligns perfectly with like your own focus on personal development, right?
Absolutely.
So developing those leadership qualities, they can create such a positive and productive environment.
It's a win-win.
For you and everyone around you.
Yeah, Pereira's insights offer valuable tools for navigating change and strengthening connections, whether you're leading a team or simply working towards personal growth.
Let's zoom out for a second and connect all of this back to you, our listener.
Right.
Remember that fear of change, it's natural. Instead of fighting it, focus on creating a sense of psychological safety for yourself.
Yeah.
Just like Pereira recommends for workplaces. Think of it as your own personal safety harness.
Yeah, those 4 strategies that we discussed earlier, clear expectations, autonomy, strategic planning, transparent communication.
Right.
Those can all be applied to your personal goals and projects.
Absolutely. It's all about taking control and minimizing that uncertainty, even amidst chaos.
Yes. And don't forget about the power of reappraisal.
Reappraisal.
Yes. When faced with a challenge, remember to reinterpret the situation, normalize the experience, be open to reorganizing your approach, and try to reposition yourself to understand different viewpoints.
It's a shift from fear and resistance
towards
curiosity and growth. And remember, you don't have to go through this alone.
No.
Human connection, it's a superpower.
Yes.
So nurture those relationships at work and in your personal life. Be intentional about building connections.
Those seemingly small gestures, like a warm welcome, a fun icebreaker, or celebrating successes, they all contribute to that sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
And shared purpose.
And for those of you in leadership roles, remember that embodying positivity, collaboration, and emotional intelligence can have a ripple effect.
Yeah, inspiring others to do the same.
It's amazing how much we can learn from Pereira's work.
Right.
She really empowers us to see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And all comes down to this.
What's that?
We are stronger together.
Stronger together. I love that.
It's such a powerful reminder that we don't have to face these challenges alone.
Right.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Marynês Pereira's insights, I want to leave you with a final thought. Okay? Think about this. What if, instead of fearing change, we saw it as a chance to unlock our full potential? What if by embracing change and nurturing those strong connections, we could actually create these like positive transformations in our own lives and the world around us?
It's a powerful shift in perspective. Pereira's message is all about empowering us to see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth and connection.
It's like turning that feeling of like, oh no, what now? Into bring it on, I got this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this deep dive, Pereira, she gives us these practical tools and a fresh perspective on navigating change and building those essential connections for success in every aspect of our lives.
A huge thank you to Marynês Pereira for her incredible insights.
Yes.
And to you, our listener, for joining us on this journey.
Absolutely.
Remember, we are stronger together.
Stronger together.